Hi, Joe Peprocki from Loyola Press for Pop-Up Catechesis. So, the rain is finally letting up a bit. It's getting brighter out here, but a little earlier it was raining cats and dogs. Well, not factually. I mean, felines and canines were not actually falling from the sky. However, the statement that I made is true. Something can be true without being fact. We call that figurative language. We use words that are not factual to express truth. For example, again, if we get stuck by a long freight train, we might say, oh, it had 1,000,000 cars. Well, that statement is an example of figurative language. It expresses a truth. It was a long train without necessarily stating facts. There were not factually 1,000,000 cars. And it's important to know that there are examples of figurative language in the Bible. The story of creation in 7 days, Adam and Eve, Noah's Ark, Jonah and the whale. These are examples of stories that express truth, in fact, divine truth, the truth of God, without necessarily using facts. That doesn't make these stories fairy tales, however. In fact, these stories are a part of God's revelation of himself to us. These stories teach us essential truths about God so that we may come to know, love, and serve God and learn to love our neighbors as ourselves. It's also important to know that science and archaeology have indeed verified many aspects of the Bible as historically accurate. And we know from historical records that Jesus of Nazareth was indeed a historical person. However, the Bible was not written to teach science or to teach history as we know it, but to reveal God's love for us so that we might enter into relationship with him. So as you read the Bible, consult commentaries, footnotes, and so on to gain insights about the use of figurative language in some passages, especially in the Old Testament. However, don't dismiss anything that you read as a fairy tale. Everything in the Bible is true, even when not using facts to express that truth. People who believe that everything in the Bible is to be taken literally are known as fundamentalists. And Catholics are not fundamentalists. We believe in the inerrancy of the Bible when it comes to expressing truths about God, even when not using facts to express those truths. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. For Pop-Up Catechesis, this is Joe Peprocki. Until next time, God bless.